You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
Well, welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. Now I'm here with Sam Caruso.
That's me.
It is you, Sam. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and if you want, what you do professionally?
Professionally, I don't do anything. No, I
You're a kickboxer.
yeah, I'm a little bit of everything in life. Nah, man, I worked in the service industry my whole life, actually, as a waiter, bartender. Worked in the front of the house, and actually, several years ago, I have a passion for food, right, and I love cooking for people, and I went to culinary school. I went to culinary school a few years ago and got all the way through it, up into the internship thing where you're supposed to go work so many hours in the kitchen and, certified something that a kitchen that they allow where they make everything in house and stuff. And I realized I got to that and I was working in the front of the house and I was going to switch over to the kitchen. And I just didn't want to do it. And I can't see myself, I couldn't see myself. I didn't want to work in the kitchen at somebody's restaurant,
Yeah,
right? So
working
I
for
didn't.
somebody else kind of becomes very difficult because it's like I'm putting all this work in for you. It's like, what am I
Right,
going to get a piece for myself? Like, I want a slice of cake.
right. It's not only the slice of cake, but it's really what interests me and what I'm passionate about is my interaction with people and cooking for them and enjoying the experience with them, right? So I wasn't in the kitchen. You're gonna put in several years and years and years. It just becomes a whole lifestyle, and it wasn't for me. I realized, and so continued doing what I was doing, and something happened last summer to where I got to where I am. So right now, what I'm doing is and this it just kicked off. Really, I had been playing around with the idea, but I'm making ice cream now, and I'm starting up a little from home ice cream thing, and started doing business page and stuff like that on Facebook, on Instagram, and I mean, it with this Corona shit that's going on, and man, the thing just popped off so fast that right now I'm selling out, and
I don't want to say the stereotypical movie line, but I don't know what you did last summer. So what exactly happened to that?
it's a good story, man. So I've always been a person, man. I cook. I love to cook, right? And like I said, I'm passionate about food. Last summer, it was so I was working at this restaurant, and they had a ice cream machine where they would, do the homemade ice cream in house. This little shitty machine, and
It wasn't broken or anything? I mean, that's McDonald's, like, treasure is that it's always fucking broken every time I go and ask, like, "Can I get a McFlurry?" They're like, "Sorry, it's broken." I'm like, "It's been broken for 20 something years."
yeah. So the McDonald's thing, like, yeah, maybe the 3 times I've been in there in 10 years, it was broken 3 out of 3 times too. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. It was they had a machine at the restaurant. They would do homemade ice cream. Man, I walk into work every day, go be setting up for the shift, and I'll be always asking the dessert guy's name was Carl, called him Curl, and man, what are you doing? What are you doing today? What are you making? It was just so interesting, right? And but I've always been a person, man. My freezer has always been stuffed. I would eat so much ice cream, sometimes a half gallon of ice cream a day, and so it was interesting to me, right? And
Well, what's your favorite ice cream, I have to ask?
I don't have a favorite. I'm a vanilla guy, really. To be honest with you, I like a high quality vanilla bean ice cream. I'm a vanilla guy. I don't like a whole lot of stuff in my ice cream, but yeah, I'm a simplest when it comes to that. Purist, I
Purist. No
guess.
sprinkles, none of that bullshit. I don't
I
like
don't want that.
sprinkles.
No, I don't want none of that shit in my ice cream. I like a good vanilla bean, and I make that right. So last summer, I took off for the summer. I went to Puerto Rico, and was going to Puerto Rico for a month and a half. Just booked the trip, went, was there. Like a week before I was supposed to come back, I got hit by a car. Was almost killed
You're
on
fucking
a
hit by a
bicycle.
car? Hang on a second. I get how normal that sounds to you, but for me, I've never been hit by a car. I've been hit by a jet ski, but a car is a completely different story.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible, man. It was a head on like thing. It was fuck. I thought I was dead, man. But it had messed up. It messed up my shoulder. I had tore my shoulder out. My foot was broken. My ankle was sprained. It was pretty bad. My face was all busted, and so I ended up having to come back a few days early, right? But here's the trip: was I was out of work, right? I couldn't work, and working in the service industry, man, it's like check to check, right? That's how the whole thing is always going. You get your money and you pay your rent and all this stuff. So I was kind of tripping out at first. So this is where the whole ice cream. I had bought a machine before I left, and I was playing around with the machine, making ice cream, giving it to neighbors in my right here in my neighborhood and stuff like that. And so when I got out, man, I got home and I didn't know what I was gonna do. Right, I was broke. Luckily, I had a little bit of money saved up, maybe like $5,000. I paid like 4 months rent in advance just so I wouldn't have to stress out about it. And so I, the idea came to me. I saw a quote, and it was something about adversity and opportunity and adversity. And so, anyways, that's how the whole thing. I was like, man, maybe I could take this opportunity to start messing with this ice cream, try to sell some, and try to get a little bit of income, right? And so that's how it all started. It was last probably August, September, and I didn't know shit, man. I didn't know what I was doing. Um, I was making it and kind of experimenting, and ended up going back to work 6 months later for a friend of mine. He's a chef. He owns a po' boy shop, Killer Po' Boys, here in New Orleans, and I was working like 3 days a week. And I had a realization though the whole time I was off for those 6 months was that, and I went back to work. And while I appreciated my friend letting me go work and do some easy work behind the counter at the po' boy shop, man, it was driving me crazy. I realized, man, I can't work for nobody anymore. I just can't do it. It was just fucking with my head, even working 17 hours a week, right? And so
It's
when
fucking with you more than that car fucks with you.
Yeah, it was just fucking with my state of mind, man. I couldn't do it no more. I was over the whole, going to work when the time somebody says to come to work, and dealing with employees who, you know,
Well, it's just like it's a hate environment. I can understand that. I left the job because of a hateful environment. It seems like, just rolling up to the building, even though it's a comfortable and it's an easy job, I was just miserable. I would roll up into the parking lot and be afraid to get out of my car only because it's like you were getting anxiety of just showing up. That's never fun. I do have a few questions. One, do you know what car that hit you?
no, I mean, do I know what kind of car?
Yeah, do you know what kind of car? Well, like,
No, it was just
it'd be ironic if it was like an ice cream truck.
nah. Yeah, there'd be like some ice cream truck hit me and just like knock something into me, right? I had some kind of no, I don't remember. It was like a little small Toyota. Dude, I was on an island. I was in Vieques. It's like a little wild island. They got wild horses running around. So them people, the streets have potholes everywhere, and the streets are really skinny, and they're not used to seeing people on bikes. I had a friend said, "Man, don't bring a bike over here," and I bought a bike on Facebook Marketplace while I was there, anyways. Was getting around like that. I took the bike on the ferry over to Vieques. And to be honest with you, I wasn't off the ferry 30 minutes. I went to the store and on the way to the store, the little corner store, I got hit. But
Immediately, I was thinking like you went to the store, got some like Ben and Jerry's ice cream. You're riding home, you get hit by an ice cream truck, and then like the guy's like, I don't have insurance. How can we settle this out of court?" And you're just like, "You can give me that frosting machine."
right, yeah, no,
But
he
even when like you were designing your own ice cream or something, like when you're giving it out, first of all, starting it out in the neighborhoods and stuff, like what made you really turn to ice cream out of all the things you could have chose from?
like I said, I was an ice cream fiend, dude. And it was just when I was working at that place, at that restaurant, they had the machine, and I just found myself always coming in, and I'd get in there to get to start the shift, and I'd be
But even when we're talking about like making ice cream flavors or something and being able to kind of distribute it more towards everyone in your neighborhood, like, so when did you come to that conclusion? Like, when did you decide ice cream was a thing? Because, like, even with nowadays, there's like dairy intolerances, there's all these things. It doesn't seem like a safe bet.
right. It did well. the whole thing was it was never about money, right? It was never about money. It was about me just when I found myself, like I said, in the back talking to the dessert guy more than so much asking him questions about man, what you making today? Like, what happens when you do this? What happens when you put this in it? And I just found myself interested, so I bought the machine just for myself. And but when I got hit by the car and got home, I was like, maybe I'll take this opportunity, man. Like I said, I came across a quote about an opportunity adversity. I was like, maybe I'll take this time to like kind of play around with it just to get a little bit of income. So I was selling quarts of ice cream for like $10, or even $5, just here and there. Most of the time giving them away, experimenting, doing like matcha and Thai tea ice cream and picking jasmine off the bush down the street and making like hunt jasmine honey and shit like that. So it just yeah, I found myself interested in it, and it was never about the money. It was never about that. So
Do you prefer just
th-
classic vanilla? Do you add anything on top of it?
so in terms of like me, my preference, I just ordered this double fold homemade vanilla extract from this woman who makes it. It was like six. I play around with the vanillas, and so it was like $60 for like 8 ounces, man. And I also used the bean paste. I was actually making my own vanilla. I was ordering the beans from like Madagascar and shit like that. And but I found playing around with it. Yeah, I prefer vanilla, man. I like good vanilla. There's nothing that beats that. I do toppings. I do like a strawberry galaxy where I make a strawberry sauce with Louisiana strawberries and put it in a container and call it a dad, the strawberry galaxy. Um, just because it looks like some galaxy. It's crazy
It
looking
looks like a
when I put it in the
galaxy.
thing.
I
Yeah,
put
exactly.
I
With the
put that
strawberry
together.
seeds and shit like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah, it's cool. I'll do whatever. It's what the people want. Like it's but like I said, I got hit by the car, man. And this time with the corona, I could tell you a story of how this all came out. Was I put the ice cream down for a little bit when I went back to work. Was just playing with it, and it was funny, man. I ain't got I came from a pretty rough start. I came from nothing, man, and never thought any of this would be ever possible.
Well, this is like the perfect time too. Sadly, with Corona going on, it is pretty bad for a lot of businesses that are open, but it is very, very good for people that are home business owners, entrepreneurs that are trying to start stuff up. Because this is like when like I've seen pizza people that are making pizzas out of their house that are delivering them to neighbors, delivering them to hospitals. It is a giant hurt on the industry in general, but it's crazy. Like I'm saying, I'm not a big fan of usually talking about it and stuff. And I actually read something today about it. So everybody's getting their stimulus checks, everybody's getting their $1,200 or whatever. And my buddy tossed a conspiracy theory my way, and I was like, I didn't like. I was like, all right, it's a conspiracy theory. Here we go, flat Earth. Oh my god! And he tossed this thing out. He goes, 3 weeks when Corona started coming, like 3 weeks ago, when Corona was starting getting real popular before things really shut down, there was a thing in the media that said toilet paper, all that was a very low percent or very low amount. So people freaked out and went to the stores and stocked up on all of it. Okay. Now the government stimulus checks are rolling in, and the meat, they just said on the news that the meat is now being low quality. Like there's not a lot of meat now. So now you're going to see these people use their stimulus checks to go buy all this meat instead of go and pay their bills. So it's going to put them in bankruptcy. And it's like it's just strange because like it's it's weird to see what businesses are really thriving right now. Like when you were messaging me, you're like, I got a lot of orders to fill. I was like, how the fuck do you have orders to fill if we are in like this pandemic where like people are afraid? But I'm like, wait a minute. People sit at home all day now. What's the only things you can do when you sit at home bored out of your mind? You watch TV and you eat. And what's a really good snack to eat on? Fucking ice cream.
Fucking ice cream. Yeah, it wasn't like that. I mean, I didn't really. I just it's a funny story, man. Yeah, as far as the corona and all that shit, I don't even like talking about it. Them, I don't watch the news. I don't have a TV. I hear from people and shit like that. But I'm cautious. I made a bleach bottle. I bleach everything down when I'm done, and through the different batches, and I wear gloves, man, and I be as cautious as possible. But as far as that goes, I don't know nothing about it. It was funny the way this happened because I had been eyeballing this new machine, right? I was looking for an upgrade in an ice cream machine, and I haven't gotten a tax return check since 2001. I owed the federal government. They actually went into the state, Louisiana, went into my bank account, levied my bank account, took all my money. And so I got them paid off, got my bank account back. And federal government, I've been paying since 2002. And finished paying them off this year, man. The day I got laid off, I got a phone call from my boy Camille, and he said he was closing up shop, the po' boy shop. And that day, I ended up getting my tax return. I owed them $900 and I ended up getting $1,300 back, which was the exact same price of the ice cream machine that I wanted to get. So the day that I got laid off, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm pulling the trigger," and I bought the machine, the $1,300 ice cream machine. And so that's how it happened, man. And so I've been playing, and the quality I found the ice cream machine makes all the difference in the world, man. The quality that comes out is so much better. And I made some tweaks and played with it a bit until I started getting something that was in what I considered uh, legit enough to leave my house. Cause I'll make ice cream, man. Sometimes if it's not up to my standard, I won't let it leave the house. But
Who do you consider as your main audience? I'm guessing it's not people with that sensitive teeth shit. I don't understand those people that are like, it's too cold for my teeth. I'm like, what the? Then don't eat ice cream. Why are you doing that? It's like when you get a brain freeze and you're sitting there riding it out. It's the worst pain of your entire life, and then when it's over, you go right back for another sip.
yeah, the audience in terms, I was like just friend, like it started with friends, man, and family members and word of mouth. And I had put up some ads on, not ads, well, I started an Instagram page. I turned it into my friend Ms. Lauren Golden. She's a food writer here in the city. She helped me with the Instagram page and the Facebook business page that I just started. And I put a post up on like the neighborhood Facebook thing, like in Mid City in New Orleans, and I put a post in uh that neighborhood app. Shit, I forget the name of it, but and people. So I've been getting people calling me who I don't even know, and it's become to where I started had double and triple the batch size. But it's all kind of people. I had a guy call me yesterday. He lives 30 miles away, but he works in a hospital on this side of the lake, and he was like, "Hey, y'all still making ice cream?" I was like, "Y'all," I was like, "I'm making ice cream, but what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I was looking to get some when I come back on that side of the lake." I was like, "Just give me a heads up if you're getting, a bunch, I'll have it prepared." But yeah, it's just kind of taken off, man. It's something that I never thought was possible. So,
Well,
but
what's the
I love
craziest order that you've received so far? Like a weird flavor or something?
it. Somebody wanted me to make wanted me to make a cantaloupe ice cream
What the
yesterday.
fuck? Oh my god. Okay, that's a big one. That's like, can I get a grapefruit ice cream? It's like, do you want to die? Like, is that the you want to poison yourself?
I told him I don't know about the ice cream, man, but I mean, because it would take for me to do that, it would take an experiment, which is going to cost money. It'd probably take like a trial run or two. And I told him I'd make him cantaloupe sorbet if he wanted can.
I remember my grandma when I used to go up there on weekends. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents, and my grandpa would always get like a bowl of vanilla ice cream, and candy was his thing. That's just what it is. So you get vanilla ice cream, do a little drizzle of chocolate syrup on top of it. And we didn't have chocolate ice cream, so that's how you made it. You like moved it around in there and mixed it together, blended it real nice. I liked milkshakes. I was a big fan of chocolate milkshakes. That was my thing. But oh dude, nothing beats a nice fucking thick milkshake when you're drinking that sucker, dude.
Dude, I grew up, so anytime I eat ice cream, and I don't know why, regular ice cream. I haven't bought ice cream in probably 2 years, but um, I would always mix milk with my ice cream. I couldn't eat ice cream unless I put milk in it. Even if I wasn't blending it like a milkshake, I had to put milk. And since I started making it, I don't do that anymore. I don't make it like super sweet, like the store stuff. So I mean, it's sweet, but it's not super super sweet. And I guess I realized I was probably putting milk just to cut it, the sugar. But
Now, my grandma, dude, like she'd turn on this blender, man. You'd hear that, "Rrr," and we all knew milkshakes were coming, dude. We would be right out in the freaking kitchen a minute later, waiting for that thing. As soon as she poured it into a glass, you were scooping it up and running off and doing something. She put those little bendable straws in it and stuff. And I remember one time she was making ice cream, and my grandfather was grabbing a bowl, grabbing the thing, and there was like sherbet, all that in one container. There's vanilla chocolate sherbet, and my brother takes all the sherbet. I took some chocolate, and I see my grandfather starts taking scoops of the vanilla. And I'm like, okay, he's eating regular vanilla ice cream, probably gonna put a little chocolate syrup on there. He fucking goes in the cabinet, grabs Chips Ahoy cookies, Oreo cookies, starts grabbing chocolate syrup, starts grabbing marshmallows, all this other stuff, starts putting it all in the ice cream. And I'm looking at him like, what fucking god do you worship? And he's like, yep, this is gonna be good. And he sits down, we're getting ready to watch his what is it? Who's that guy? Jason Segal, Steven Seagal. He's watching his yeah, Steven Seagal movie. He's getting ready for it. My grandma comes out and she goes, "You know you're not supposed to be eating that." He goes, "What?" And she goes, "You gotta watch your cholesterol." Takes the bowl from him. I saw a man lose all faith in everything at that point. In his eyes, I just saw the light just flick
yeah,
away.
yeah, he went through all that trouble to do all that too. Somebody had to eat it. Maybe she wanted it, but
She
did
ate
he
it for
did he
sure.
smash it all? Did he smash it into there, or did he blend it with a blender? He just
No,
put
he
smashed it
started
all.
just dumping stuff in there, like, if it's, like, make your own ice cream instead of using a blender and stuff, and, like, I mean, most of my childhood experience, I used to work at a water park, so we would at right next to, the water park was an ice cream place, so we'd always get ice cream and stuff after work or something, me and my grandpa, and I remember, like, what really got me was this woman one time was in there, and she was like, "Can I try the chocolate?" And then me and my grandpa are just sitting there, like, shooting the shit. I'm soaking wet from, doing, the water park all day, and, she goes, "Let me try the double chocolate." "Oh, can I try the triple chocolate?" And I'm just like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's the same shit, just more chocolate. And my grandpa's like, "I swear to God, it's never easy around here." And I'm like, but I mean, like, those were fun moments, man. I mean, like, you get a lot of experiences with ice cream too. Like, what's one that you find pretty fond or interesting that sticks out in your mind?
I mean, the whole thing with ice cream is so I mentioned like I like the interaction with people, right? I like making stuff and watching people enjoy it. And I mean in terms of do you mean like from me making it and selling it, or do you mean just from ice cream in general from growing from eating it?
Either or. It can be one that you had as a kid, maybe a fond moment where it started, and then, or it could be one that making them to people. I mean, it's got to feel fucking amazing giving people ice cream and seeing their face light up.
It's always smiles, right? It's always
I mean, you can't
smiles
be
and
pissed off eating ice cream. I remember freaking as a kid, the ice cream truck. You don't see that anymore. That just doesn't happen for some reason. It kind of sucks. I remember screaming like Eddie Murphy's bit where he's like, "Ice cream!" like screaming, But like I remember, they had the rocket pops and the ice cream sandwiches and stuff. Not the black ice cream sandwiches, one with the Oreo, but the ones like a chocolate chip cookie. And there's a fucking kid all pissed off, all upset at his mom because he couldn't get two ice creams. He's sitting there all upset, and as soon as he takes a bite into the ice cream, his face starts smiling. It's probably the same thing you can experience seeing
yeah,
people's.
yeah. I experienced that with people with well, me eating it and yeah, like when I make new flavor, like I just did I had walnuts. I had a big old bag of walnuts and I made homemade walnut butter and then I incorporated it into ice cream. That's what I was doing actually right before we called, he called me and so I made a walnut. And when I make ice cream, like something I didn't make before, and I like experimenting. And when it comes out perfect, I called Miss Lauren and was like, she was coming over to get some today to try it. And the woman who's been, helping me with the business page and stuff. And I said, I have a walnut butter that you have to try. And so like, that's fun making stuff that comes out and seeing what happens. But yeah, people come over, man, and get it, and then they call me back and getting the response and the feedback, the great feedback that they happy, it makes me happy. And but yeah, I grew up eating ice cream, man. I've always loved, like I said, I would sometimes eat a whole half gallon in a day, and I kept it in my freezer. And I remember, like I told you, I put milk in it. And my grandmother told me, your grandfather, I've never met him, but he had passed away before I died. It's like, your grandfather used to do the same thing. He used to put milk in it. So, ice cream. It's a happy experience, in all ways. And so I sell it now. I get to do what I love, which is make food for people, and I get to interact with them at the same time. And I get to even better. I'm not working for anybody, man. And I sit in the kitchen all day, jamming out. I'll put the music on, and I don't have to worry about, man. Just thinking, man, I don't have to worry about some asshole telling me that break time, I can't take a break. I do this or show up if I want to wake up at 10 a.m. Or if I want to wake up at 1, or if I want to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, I could do that. And wow, what experience! So and I'm making ice cream all day, man.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad job to be in too. It's especially pretty fun and soothing, especially when you're on your own boss. You don't have anybody up on your ass. I mean, for me, like my parents, they both worked all the time. So like my dad was only home like 3 hours a night, basically. So what he would do is he'd come home with like I ate this food fucking religiously. Fish food ice cream by Ben and Jerry's.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
know
know
it.
if yeah, I'm about to say with the fudge fish, the caramel, the freaking chocolate marshmallow all inside of it, dude. I would kill a pint of that every
Doesn't
single
it have
time.
pretzels, huh? Or
No, it has no pretzels now. But
no chocolate covered fish or something?
no, it's chocolate, chocolate fish, fudge, caramel, marshmallow, all that. And I would eat it religiously, dude. Every time my dad would be like, he just like sleep for 3 hours, but he'd get me the pint of ice cream. He'd turn on the TV and he would sleep with like around me, just so he would be like, if I needed anything, he would wake up like, oh, what you need or something. But I'd kill that whole fucking pint, dude. I still get cravings for that ice cream, man. I'm walking down the ice cream section now. You see everything turns healthy, like freaking matcha. I don't know what the hell that is. It doesn't sound delicious. It looks green, and that reminds me of pistachio ice cream, which scares the hell out of me.
Man, pistachio is the shit. The matcha is the shit too if it's done right. But yeah, it's all good. It, it's all. I mean, yeah. You just gotta have an open mind, I guess. All of it's good. But I get requests for the matcha. People, you make matcha. But dude, I'll make anything really if I get a chance to, you know, experience and play with it.
Well, what's the
I try.
difference between ice cream and a sorbet? Because I know you make sorbets too.
Yeah, so I make sorbets, man. I make it straight up from fresh fruit. That it's so like a sherbet. You'll hear about a sherbet. It actually has like some cream in it. Sorbet is strictly fruit and sugar. I even do like half sugar ones. So that's what a sorbet, and like ice cream, of course, is ice cream, milk, cream, sugar, and whatever I want to put in it. But yeah, sorbet is fruit, man. It said it. I get like seasonal fruit. I do a strawberry season. I've been buying like crates of them, man, and use that for ice cream. Use that for sorbet, or I'll do like all kind of different ones. I just
Where do you get a lot of education for your flavors or something? Like, do you do a lot of like trying different the ice cream brands? Do you like try your best to just try like local shops too, see what maybe they add a certain thing to it or certain style to be able to develop your own?
yeah, I don't do anything. I just go with my instinct. It's kind of, I guess it's yeah. I don't. Every once in a while, I'll look if I have a interest in doing something like I'll look up like a whole bunch of different recipes and just kind of get the gist of what's going on. And but yeah, other than that, it's I'm not. I'm extremely unorganized. I don't read. I don't go out to eat much.
Readings for chumps, bro. Readings for
I
chumps.
just yeah, I just like to get my hands on it and then do it. And I go with my. I've always been good in terms of like cooking. I've been cooking my whole life since I was a young teenager, and man, fuck it, just go up my gut. I'll fuck up sometimes, and but I'll learn from the mistake and kind of just it's just instinct, man. I think everybody has it. People act like they can't cook. And people be like, "Man, you're a great cook." Blah blah blah. I feel like anybody could do it, but
Well, yeah,
it's just
experiment with shit, man. You got when you're making something like, I mean, when you figure out what stuff you can add to things too, especially nowadays, we're living in a world where people are dumping the weirdest shit on everything. I mean, they're coming up with the craziest food combinations, sticking an ice cream sandwich inside of a turkey and having that for Thanksgiving. It's like, holy shit. But like when you have vanilla ice cream, like chopping up some banana, using something on top of it. I mean, I had a guilty thing, a little secret. So I went to the Olive Garden once, and they have those garlic breads.
Ah, that's no good already.
No, stop.
That ain't
They have garlic
good.
breadsticks there. This is when I was like 13 years old. They had the garlic breadsticks that they're known for. Then I ordered vanilla ice cream, and I was sticking the garlic breadsticks in the ice cream. And what I found out later, when I was in my 20s, I found out that apparently garlic and vanilla is supposed to be a very good combination.
Don't put no ideas in my head, man.
I'm just saying, toss that one in there. I mean, I look at like ice cream is like it's meant to be like a freaking. It's a meant to be like it's not meant to look beautiful, I should say. I hate when I go to like a place that's like you see they're dumping toppings all over it. Like I remember as a kid, I was doing like gummy worms and like it wasn't that good, but like I don't mind a lot of the toppings, but some people sit there and be like, I'm gonna do a few little sprinkles and make it look nice. I'm like, you don't care if it looks nice, make that shit like mud tracks, man, moose tracks, whatever. It's delicious as hell, and the best part is it doesn't look like picture perfect.
What's the beautiful thing about it is like when I make it and it's all what I see is like when I scoop it after it like I put it in the freezer and it sets, I have to like I take a spoon and like it's the texture of it to me that looks is what's beautiful or not. I've had ice creams that I have completely fucked up and but it's the texture when you put the spoon and you peel some of it back and you looking for the lines in it and where that's where the beauty is. But that's I mean to me that's this is what I am very
Are you a
I guess I'll
bowl or
probably
a
see
waffle
it.
cone man?
Yeah, I would say a bowl,
I can't
but
do a fucking waffle cone, man. I don't know how many times like you see the people that do them on
it's
like
a
a
pain in the ass, right?
it
Yeah,
drips
shit's
down
like
your hand. You don't have time to fucking eat it. It's like I can't eat this fast enough, and then next thing you know, it's like I think the only well, there's two that I really prefer in a waffle
put
cone.
the cone in the ice cream,
Well,
crunch the
yeah,
cone up in the ice cream.
but when they had the freezer ones where you would stick them in the freezer, little sundae things with the little
Oh yeah,
nuts
those are
on top,
good. I love them things.
and the
The
bottom
ice
of the
cream's
waffle
shitty.
cone was like fudge or chocolate in it.
Yeah, the ice cream's shitty. I don't even know if it's ice cream. It's like frozen dairy dessert, but those are still good. Um,
Frozen breast milk,
I know what you're
frozen
talking.
breast milk.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's like all kind of shit, man. There's like
You figure out you freeze a Snickers and how amazing that is. It's like, whoa, 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 we're changing the game when we can start freezing candy.
yeah, I used to do that. It's frozen Snickers. It's like
And then
crunch,
there's
break
a
your teeth.
there's a place by where I live called El Plaza Teca or something. It's like a nice little Mexican restaurant. But I remember going there on my birthday and they brought out this freaking waffle cone that looked like a upside down sombrero. And it was like fried ice cream. And I was eating it. And I was like, this is fucking delicious.
I know. Yeah, big old. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like fried like a it's done like a what you would call it the like when they do a taco salad shell
Yeah. Well,
with
like
ice cream.
the reason why I like a bowl so much is because I like to actually sit there and enjoy my ice cream, like take small scoops and like, actually savor the flavor in my mouth, I would say. But then like you see the savage people that get like a full ice cream cone and they just bite the whole top off of it in one bite. I'm like, how is that fun?
Yeah, you got to be worrying about like hurry up and getting through the first part so it's not dripping and shit like that. Yeah, dude, I'm a pure. I like to enjoy it. Um, and I notice all the texture of it and all that shit. So that's why I don't go out to eat most of the times. Just even for like dinner and stuff, it's just I'm
Shit's
highly critical.
expensive, dude. It's
Yeah,
super
it's very expensive, and I'm highly critical and of I look at all the details and stuff. So
It's like, I mean, I got my birthday is the last day of the year, so going out to eat is basically impossible. You have to go early. And I remember my grandparents, when they used to take me, would always be like, "Hey, do you want to get a special dessert for your birthday?" And I'm like, looking, I'm like, this small scoop of one vanilla ice cream with a little bit of chocolate syrup on top is over $12. Like, I could go get a tub of that Friendly's ice cream. Like, the biggest disgrace I think you can ever do is put sprinkles on your ice cream. I don't know where you stand on probably what's the worst thing you can do with ice cream.
sprinkles.
Fuck
I don't like
sprinkles,
putting.
dude.
Yeah, I don't like putting shit like. I mean, yeah, unless I'm making like cookies and cream, I'll sprinkle some of the cookies on top just like as a garnish in the packing when I pack it. But yeah, like sprinkles are kind of shitty. I don't know what they're for. Just color, I guess.
You know what I correlate sprinkles to is like if you're a hunter and you shoot a deer with like a shotgun and you just leave the bullets in there and then you try and eat the meat later. Like that's what it is. Because you're like biting into the ice cream. It's supposed to be nice and soft. Next thing you know, you get like this little tiny little freaking whatever oval in your
I
ice
don't
cream
even
that
think they
goes down
have
your throat.
flavor, do they? It's just like little sugar things or
It's
something.
just artificial
It's
shit.
pointless, huh?
It's
It's
supposed
pointless,
to
right?
it's supposed to be beautiful. I'm like, it does no. You want it for taste, okay?
Yeah, yeah, it's pointless. But I mean, I guess for kids and shit like that, I don't know, man. Uh,
Have
I
you
don't
ever
use sprinkles.
like going to different places too, like you were talking about before? Like I remember going to Hawaii, and they actually have a place called the Dole Plantation, the pineapple dole. Well, they have one of the largest mazes down there too, but what they're really known for is their pineapple ice cream. I mean, it's really fucking good, dude. It's it's so creamy. I like that. Like it's when you think ice cream is like you have to take a scoop and you have to, eat it that way or in a bowl or something. It's kind of like, one little spoonful at a time. But if you mix it up, sit there and mix it like a milkshake, dude, it becomes really, really creamy and frothy, like one you would get out of a soft serve machine, dude.
Man, let me tell you something. They have a pineapple ice cream. It's coconut and pineapple. It's Haagen-Dazs makes it, and it is off the fucking chain, man. And like, I want to try to mimic something like it. The idea has been in my head. It's so fucking delicious. I'm not even sure. I'd have to go and get another one just to like uh, really look at it, but it's so like creamy and pineapple-y. They got like tiny pieces of little pineapple in it, and it's like a coconut and creamy ice cream. And it is. If you haven't tried it, you should try it. They're making it in pints, but you don't see it. You don't see it that often. But that has been on my mind to create that. I don't know how they do it, but it's fantastic. And when you said that about in Hawaii, it made me think of that.
I I want to see somebody make this ice cream flavor I've been thinking of is like a vanilla with like crushed up vanilla wafers sprinkled on top of it, and then adding like slices of strawberry or banana to it, and then maybe like a light dollop of whipped cream to it. Dude,
Yeah,
it'd be fucking
the whipped cream would have to. I could do that. I thought about doing the vanilla wafers. I like the vanilla wafers because they're not sweet and they give like a bready like, and they'll have like a little bit of moisture transfer from the ice cream, so they won't be crunchy, which I like that. They almost turn into like little pieces of cake. After you let the ice cream sit a couple of days, which is really good. The vanilla wafers work well, but it'll be great with the bananas, man, and the straw. Like you said, I could do that. I would even be willing to do that. Maybe I will. But yeah, the whipped cream would have to be out. Just by the way I package it, it doesn't. You don't get ice cream from like the store like that with whipped cream and shit. I don't know if it would hold well, but first of all, my kitchen's so small, I ain't making no damn whipped cream. I'm making enough stuff. But I wish I had a bigger kitchen.
It's just like walking down the ice cream aisle. You look at all the flavors that are out there, like birthday cake. I mean, coffee bean one sounds like vanilla bean. I always thought if you took like vanilla ice cream and took like a handful of like coffee beans and started sprinkling those in there, because a lot of people typically prefer just eating a coffee bean for like a quick little thing of energy rather than brewing up a coffee, like just a handful of coffee beans. And I thought that would be pretty interesting. I mean, I think
I
one
do
of
that.
yeah, it's one of the best things is like when you're eating a ice cream and there's that little chunk of something like gooey or goodness inside of it. It's like you bite into it, it's like a chocolate chip or something, or a chocolate chip cookie dough ball. That was the best part about Friendly's ice cream. They had the chocolate chip cookie dough. I mean, I don't know how I would have made it without Friendly's ice cream when I was stoned out of my mind in high school. Like, holy
Friendlies?
crap, dude.
Where is that at?
It's just an ice cream brand that you would find in like Walmart or Food Lion. I remember every day after school, I would just run right to the freezer, open that thing up. I would sat there, watch Ghost Rider or something, and freaking tear down a thing of Friendly's chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
I was
Everybody's got
never
mine was Bluebell here, but
I was
I
I
don't know if
was
they have
never
that
one of
there.
those Italian ice people. I never really enjoyed it that much. I went to Hawaii and had it there, like a Hawaiian Italian shaved ice place. It's too much like if you put ice chips. I don't know if you ever heard of ice chips.
No,
It's like,
ice chips.
when you're going through, like, surgery or something, you're not allowed to eat anything before surgery and after.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know
So
what you're talking about.
yeah, they just give you a cup of, like, really thin ice, and it's like I don't like it when it's like that. It's, like, too jagged. I like
Yeah,
something, like,
yeah,
nice
yeah.
and smooth.
Bro, if you ever heard of us? Yeah. So obviously, like I love like frozen treats, right? Snowballs. Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah, is that, like, by Hostess or
Hostess. No, oh hell no, no, not that. This is so it's really big in New Orleans, man, and they got a place. I'll give a shout out, Hanson Snowballs on Chapatoulas. Best snowballs in the whole wide world. It's the only place I'll eat them from. But it's shaved ice, man, and it's shaved ice, and you'll see like you'll what you probably know is like a snow cone, but there's just a lot different down here from my experience. You know, I lived other places and nowhere makes them like here for some reason. Shaved ice, man. They make the syrups, but this place on mentioned Hanson's, they make all their own syrups. They have like a vanilla bean syrup, so it's not like this pre-ordered shit with high fructose corn syrup and all. They do like ginger cayenne and stuff like that. They got all kind of
You
really
just
good
threw me through a
flavors.
nostalgia. You know what kids are never going to experience today is that they're never going to experience making their own Italian ice cream at home. Those little makers you used to get at Walmart, little easy bake ovens and
Hey,
stuff.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I had one of those actually.
I
Well, my
had
sister.
a shaved ice cream maker. We would always put like a bunch of different like syrups on top of it. Like you would put strawberry, lemon. We had all the little combinations. You make your own like whatever Italian ice or whatever you want, snowballs, whatever. And those were experiences. I remember I made my first Slurpee one time. I ended up leaving like a soda outside in a cup, and it ended up snowing that night. And I came out and it was all frozen. I was like, well, I'm going to drink this because I'm 15 years old and I don't know what diseases are. So I drank it and it was really fucking good, dude. Like it's makes like when you're making your own popsicles and stuff, you figure out you can put toothpicks in the little ice cube trays in the freezer and you just fill it up with like a certain liquid and let it freeze overnight.
Yeah, what everything's better. Frozen treats are the best, man. I used to hate coconut water. I used to not be able to stand it. And I was working at this restaurant, and I had one. I don't know why I had, and I had put it in the walk-in freezer, and I forgot about it in the middle of shift. I was dying of thirst. I was like, oh shit, my coconut water. And so I went and got it out of there, and it was like half frozen, and it was the first time I drank coconut water. I was like, oh my god, it's delicious. And ever since then, I love coconut water. Just had a good experience with it. After that, it was half frozen. It's like slushy. Everything's better like that. Coke, some root beer, Barks root beer in a bottle, slushy, man. Come
A
on.
nice root beer float? Are you kidding me? I mean, everyone talks about the hype of like Dairy Queen. I've only had it like once. It was like a blizzard, but everyone talks about you got to put your French fries in the milkshake. I'm like, I don't know about that. That's some devil's worship.
Yeah. Uh, I did a root beer ice cream. It came out good, the flavor, but it was in the old machine that I had, and the texture just wasn't all there. So I didn't. I was the only one that tried it. And I don't even let people try the stuff if I ain't down with it. So
What do you find
if
that
it ain't
you worry about the most when it comes to your ice cream? Do you worry about the flavor? Do you worry about the consistency of it?
the texture, yeah, the consistency and the texture. Because when you adding other things, like you do things like you add in almond butter, it's adding. Dude, let me tell you that I've learned a lot about ice cream in the last just the last couple months. Especially since I got this new machine. Um, it, all these things, it's scientific, man. It's science, and I've been forced to learn things on the fly. Consistency is everything. You don't want something that's like too soft or too hard. And here's the latest thing that I've been working on is a sugar-free vegan. I have a friend of mine, his name's Gary. He's been buying the materials for me to get it perfect. And uh, I got some more xylitol in the mail yesterday, and I think I got the idea what I need to do. So, but it's been turning out like really good. The flavor is all there. Flavor is fantastic, and when you put it in the freezer, it gets too hard, right? So, it's because it doesn't have sugar, and so I found out a mixture that I think is going to work. Um, but the ones that were coming out hard, the way the coconut milk works, like when you bite into it, it's still like soft to the tooth, but it's hard. It's harder to like the spoon. It's weird, and it would be perfect for popsicles. So I've been thinking about man doing like vegan sugar-free popsicles just because it would I think would work out so well. But I'm working on the consistency, man, is what I'm looking for in the vegan sugar-free, and I'm working on that. So I did a lavender blackberry vegan last week, and I did a banana coconut. It had pieces of banana, and I added like so it was a banana coconut vegan that it's almost there. You know, it's not rock hard, but it's not exactly where I want it to be yet. So working on it, vegan, sugar free. Keep your eye out,
Well, it's all
local
trial and
people.
error too. I mean, you just got to work. If something doesn't work, you just got to figure out maybe it does work, but not for what you're thinking it would work. Make maybe not an ice cream, but like you were saying, turn it into a popsicle.
Right, exactly. So that, or yeah, so then I start doing, I read a university scientific, published journal actually. And what I had is what I finally came across. I looked at blogs, all kind of shit, man, trying to find out what these sugars do, like these non-sugars do, right? These plant-based sugar alcohols like xylitol, erythritol, you know, and sucrose and all this shit, trying to figure out how to get them to work to where they don't get rock hard. And I came across this scientific journal that kind of explained something for me. So I finally found something, and I think I told my friend I'd have him from tomorrow. That I told him that it was gonna come out perfect. I don't know yet if it will, but hopefully uh, hopefully I'm a man of my word on this, because I really want it to work, because a lot of people, like you said, are into this vegan, they are dairy free, you know, and sugar free, keto and vegan and all this shit. So, you know, I want to make it. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you basically got to put it on the giant front of your label, like it's vegan, people, just so they know to buy it. Because if it has anything like dairy or something, they don't like that stuff. They're just gonna walk away from it, not even give it an eye.
Right. So I put it on the website, vegan options. The vegan options, the way that it kind of is by request, and you could probably have to give me a day to make it, but most all my other shit I try to keep on stock. But like I said, I've been selling out.
So do you want to end up owning your own business, like a small store, or owning like a little cart where you can kind of deliver the ice cream pops to kids or people?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Right now I'm taking just putting, you know, one foot in front of the other. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, to be honest with you.
Well, I like the honesty. Thank you. Everyone acts like they have it all figured out. I'm like, please, someone just come on here and be honest.
Oh man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, dude. I still have it in my head, like, man, what the hell are you doing? Like, but fuck it is my thing. I just keep making the ice cream, and people keep smiling, man, and they keep saying I keep getting good feedback. And I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I didn't think that I could ever own a business. I didn't think that I would ever be able to do anything like that. Like I said, I come from a somewhat of a troubled past, to put it lightly, and never owned a thing in my life. And yeah, um, keep making ice cream. That's what I keep doing. And as long as people are digging it, then yeah, I'm digging it as well. So
Perfect pitch is that you're gonna buy a nice Corolla or you're gonna buy like a nice Cadillac. You're gonna fill the back with an ice cream freezer. So you just pop up, get out of your car, go, hey kid, come back here. Each kid comes back. What's up, mister? And you just pop open the trunk, be like, what you want? A rocket pop? What you want? You want the SpongeBob ice cream that's eyes are all fucked up and doesn't look anything like the package?
or a vegan popsicle.
There you go, man. You're already delivering to the people, and
Yeah.
you can play just like Afro Man when he's that song. Oh God, I can't believe I'm gonna blank on that one.
Wait, I know what you're talking about.
His most
Shit.
popular song too,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I
No,
got
I'm
high.
blanking on it too.
Because I got high.
Yeah. Cause I got, yeah,
That
yeah,
whole thing where he's selling Bud popsicles, man.
yeah. No,
Dude,
I
that,
thought
that
about
could be a
that
lane you
actually
can
too.
go down to edibles.
No, I thought about it. I have a friend actually who, yeah, he's involved with, you know, that aspect. He doesn't make ice cream, but he used to make ice cream. He actually got fired from his job for selling Bud ice cream, and he don't make it. But when he heard I got the machine, he's like, "Man, dude, you need to make the weed ice cream." He's like, "I got the recipes," and I was like,
He said,
sounds good, man. I don't know.
"Marijuana popsicle."
Mhm.
You didn't strike me as a marijuana popsicle guy. All right,
Yeah.
got
But you know,
myself
I
a
don't
Bud
smoke, but
biscuit.
it sounds interesting. The thing is, it's not like I don't hear that and I'm like, oh yeah, money, I can make. The interest goes like, damn, I wonder what. it's just like with anything, with the fucking almond butter or with anything else. It's like, I wonder what happens if I do this, and that's what really keeps driving me, man, and keeps me excited about it. It's like a million things. If you got an idea, throw it at me on my on the Instagram or the Facebook thing, and
I'll be
I'll
shooting
work
you
on
some
it.
ideas for sure. I got the freaking creativity of a fat kid when it comes to being in the kitchen. I really appreciate you coming out and doing the podcast, man.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate you having me. It's yeah, just even when you I was getting orders, man. It's like people calling me. I think that guy at the hospital had just called me from the work at the hospital. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come through and get some. And then like you texted me about doing it. So I was like, man, what the fuck is going on right now? But good
Yeah,
shit,
dude. I
man.
want you to plug your show, or not your show, your work too. Like, what's with the Instagram name? I'm not like you really caught me off guard with that. I was like, what is happening? I didn't know Japanese. You have it like is that Japanese, Chinese? What is that?
That's Chinese, man. Laozi, he wrote The Art of War. He's a Chinese philosopher, ancient philosopher. He's the father of Taoism, right? And a lot of the principles of Taoism. And he talks about putting one step forward. And he has a million quotes. And so check it out. So he is very inspirational. Reading some of his quotes and looking at the adversity that I faced. Like I said, coming from where I came from, and I was out, and then I got hit by the car. I was out of work. Was reading some of that, and I was like, it popped in my head, right? So here's the story. I was like, man, Lousy. He has several names, but Laozi is like LAOTZU or LAOTSU or another one LAOZI, like one word is Laozi is another name for him. So I was like, man, what if when I got hit by the car, I came home, I was like, man, I pitched it to my friend. He's a chef here in the city, and I was like, Laozi Ice Cream. And he's like, man, no, nobody's gonna know what the fuck that is. Don't do that. And he talked me out of it, right? And then this corona shit happened, and then I kept thinking, it kept popping in my head, so I pitched it again to a bunch of people, and I was like, man, what if I took Laozi quotes? And so be on the lookout for this. I am working with somebody doing making me stencils. Brenda is making me stencils, and somebody is going to help me design or engrave like wooden spoons with a Laozi quote, right? Like fortune cookies, or do little fortunes and do like an envelope on the outside of the carton. So with every quart of ice cream, you'll get a quote from Laozi or Laozi, and like a fortune, man. So that's probably gonna be coming in the future, but things are still in the works and
Well,
in the
for
very
people that
beginning
are
stages.
listening, we can find you at Laozi Ice Cream Co. at Instagram. You can go on there and check out some of his orders and maybe message him, reach out to him, see if he can create some of your own. I got a quote for you.
Holla at me.
Those who put sprinkles on ice cream are psychopathic.
Yeah, they're wasting their time, man. I don't. You talked about the ice cream community. I heard you on one of them things, and I was like, man, I was like, that's funny. Yeah, anybody who myself, like I said, if there's sprinkles, it better be little sprinkles of pieces of vanilla bean in the ice cream.
Yeah, if you could put
That's
little pieces of coffee bean in there, that'd be pretty cool. But if it's the little sprinkles, little pink or rainbow ones, I always see people throwing on everything. I'm like, no, you just ruined it. You just
I
ruined
will.
it.
That's an insult to my ice cream. Don't ever do that. Go home and do it, not in front of my face.
What is that? They try and salt bay it like with the sprinkles. They try and drizzle it on top like they're all fancy. I'm like, get out of here. What are you doing? You
Yeah,
savage.
yeah. They're not ice cream connoisseurs.
They don't understand. Well,
They don't understand.
thank you for listening to this episode out of the Blank Podcast and stay tuned for our next episode.